Yo, 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 word up traders, how are we? Before we start today, I have got some terrible news. It's not that bad, but I do have some terrible news and I'm going to share it right away. I was having a digestive biscuit and I was dipping it into my coffee and half the biscuit fell into my coffee. So my coffee right now has half a biscuit floating around in it. And there is probably nothing worse in the world, right? I know you got like famine and, murderers and stuff, but biscuits falling into your coffee. Anyway, that aside, guys, I just had to share that. We are going to do the following, right? We're going to take a look at the trades that I am no longer in. I've got out of a couple of trades and I'm going to explain exactly why. And we're going to talk about the Aussie dollar a lot, right? I've got a lot to say about the Aussie dollar. So we're going to talk about that, guys. We're also going to do some analysis of the markets. Anything you want to look at, please don't be shy. Please come and ask. Anything you like, guys. Maybe you're looking at a pair, maybe you want help with strategy, money and risk management, psychology, maybe you want help in your marriage. Yeah, I also do marriage counseling. Maybe you want help with work. I can also get you the sack like that if you want. So just let me know, guys, right? I'm available for all of these things. Oh dear, I'm in a very silly mood. Right. Also, guys, we do have some news coming out. So at 1:30, again, someone please remind me because you know what I'm like. I gas bag. So at 1:30, guys, we have a slew of data, right? This US dollar strength, right? Is it going to continue? The US dollar is at interesting levels with a lot of US dollar pairs now. So this news today is going to be interesting and important. All right. So we'll take a look at that and the reaction when that comes out, guys. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We have an action-packed 45 minutes, slightly dampened by the biscuit fiasco before I come on. Right, so that's what we're going to do, guys. Let's say a quick hello to everyone. So Brett, hello, May. Luigi, hi, how are you? I know it's against trend, but I like cable for buys. What's your thoughts, Tom? Okay, we'll have a look at pound US dollar. Aidan, howdy, the mug is worse than the actual biscuit falling in the mug. Adrian, we'll have less of that. Speak of Liverpool. You know they're the best team. Mike, need to get on the hobnobs, mate. The Marines of the biscuit world. I agree. I love a milk chocolate hobnob. I was slumming it today with the digestive, and not even chocolate on the digestive. Neil, hi. Lucky, hi. How are you? We're all good. Any, hello. So hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good trading week because it's Thursday already. Where does the time go? I say that every week, and I still don't have the answer. Right, guys. So let's start with Aussie dollar, right? And let's rewind to yesterday. Okay, so Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, right? If we look at the H4, I was in this trade. Okay, so we were in an uptrend on the H4, but let's start with the daily, right? So daily was also looking good, right? Daily we had bullish, right? And we still had some room to move into up to my target. All right, so Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, daily was in an uptrend. And then when we went back to the H4, we're in a H4 uptrend. And then bang, right, we got this nice big bullish green candle. I thought, hello, green candle, I shall capitalize on you. And turned very camp all of a sudden. And then I started buying here, right? I got a little bit of a retrace, in fact. So I started buying here. You can see my trade, right? The red stop loss, green profit, right? So two things happened, okay? So I know up here, right? This is around my bedtime, right? I need my beauty sleep. It's very important. Look at the state of me. Okay, so trying to be serious here as well. So I'm going to bed, right? And just before I go to bed, we get this big bearish wick, right? That's a rejection wick. So that was like, okay, shall I get out of this trade, right? But what cemented it is that I knew, if we go to the economic calendar, while I was sleeping this morning, right, I knew we had Aussie dollar news coming out. Okay, and this could be good, could have been bad, but you're basically gambling, right? If you're just waiting on Aussie dollar news, right? You're gambling if you're trading like that. So I closed the trade, right? And in hindsight, I mean, I would have done it anyway because there's news and we had a rejection candle. But in hindsight, it was a good decision, right? Because it was all terrible news for the Aussie dollar, and the Aussie dollar has been incredibly weak today. And just take a look at that, guys. So I actually closed this trade in here and at profit. So this is a really good example of managing a trade, right? I know we always talk about entries and price action, which is super duper important, but managing trades, right, is also a big thing. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Also, guys, right, when you start to see yen strength, this is another correlation, right, that you must be aware of with Aussie dollar, because as I said to you guys, with Aussie dollar, I'm going to speak a lot about it. So much so I need some, just got to watch out for biscuit. So Aussie dollar, yeah, I want to share this with you guys, right? So yesterday we had some, silly Trumpness, right? And he's come out, he said, I'm going to get Fed Powell, the sack, and just nonsense coming out of his mouth as usual, right? And shit went crazy. There's no better way of putting it, right? But what did happen was yen strength come into the market. Okay. So let me just show you that on a few day charts. So if you look at Aussie dollar yen, right, we saw yen strength come in. If we look at Swiss franc yen, right, we got these big bearish daily candles on yen. If we look at euro yen, right, big bearish daily candles. And that yen strength come into the market, right? And because of his comments, it become very quickly a, shit has hit the fan scenario, right? And then that is a very risk off environment. So then yen becomes strong in a risk off environment, right? Risk off means people don't want to risk. Risk on means people want to risk. Risk is on. Okay, think of it like that. And when risk is on, people tend to trade riskier assets like stocks, really. Okay. And then when we're in a risk on environment, Aussie dollar is strong, right? But the opposite is true. So in a risk off, yen is strong, Aussie dollar is weak. And in a risk on environment, Aussie dollar is strong, yen, just going to do J, is weak. And that situation changed very quickly, right? So that was another thing I was considering late on in the evening, right? Have we had a bit of risk off come into the market? Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to share, guys, about Aussie dollar, right? And it's so important that you understand those correlations and the relationships between indices, yen, Aussie dollar, Trump comments, right? And things like that. Okay. So there you go. I wanted to share that. I also got into a CAD yen trade today because I did like CAD yen day chart. Look at this CAD yen day chart. So uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend. And then I even like this wick, right? That wick was very bullish, bouncing off a key level. I didn't put this level in today. That's been there. And then look at it, just bang, pounded off that level. And I still like CAD yen, right? And I got into CAD yen on the basis of this candle, right? I wasn't awake for this candle or this candle, or maybe I was for that one actually. You know, I was in bed dreaming of Gal Gadot, you know, or scoring the winning goal for Liverpool. You know, these are the sort of dreams I have. And I didn't take this trade, right? But I woke up today and saw this nice big H4 candle, right? So I started buying here, put my stops below here, and I was looking to take it up to here, right? But I got this big bearish candle. And you know, I spoke about this yen, this general yen strength that I was speaking about. You know, I saw a big bearish H4 candle, and on the H1, right, we had this bit of consolidation, couldn't think of the word, and then we broke down, right? So I got out of this trade. I got out of this trade about here, guys, right? Okay, so I just took a small loss. But again, it's another element of managing a trade. And you know, managing a trade saves me so much R, right? It saves me so much. It saves me so much loss of money. God, that's bad English. You know, but it does, right? You know, taking a small loss here, we'll see if I was right. If price comes down, I was right. If price shoots up, I might even get back into it, right? So, yeah, managing trades, guys. I know I haven't purposely decided to talk about managing trades, but it just so happens, you know, yesterday and today, that's exactly what I've been doing. I would be interested if we break this level here. You can see I've got an alarm. We get a nice big candle break through that, right? We go to the H4, you know, we break that. There's every chance we're making it up to these highs. Okay, so yeah, I may get back into it, but doesn't look like it's setting up right now. What else did I want to share with ye? Yeah, just Aussie dollar. Like Aussie dollar went berserk. I mean, I still really like Euro Aussie dollar sells. I still do, right? You know, if we took away today, so this is pre-crappy news that come out for Aussie dollar employment, right? Early this morning. That is a wonderfully beautiful setup, right? It really doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, you've got a breakdown in structure. You've got a retrace to a horizontal resistance level and the dynamic moving average 20 resistance level. It doesn't get any better than that setup, okay? But we go to the H4. All right, it's already done it. Okay, so, you know, we was basically here at the start of the day. Bad news. This is where we're at, right? So, you know, I'm not going to trade this today. It's a bit, you know, it's just gone. It's in an uptrend, right? It's just left us, right? But if we go back to the day chart and we end up with a nice big wick rejection, something like this, that closes back in to this wick, I am still very much interested in selling Euro Aussie dollar. And you'll be amazed how fickle the market is. You get a nice technical setup like this, people will soon forget the shitty Aussie dollar employment figures. All right, so this might be a trade for tomorrow. We'll see. If the daily candle finishes like this, then obviously I'm not interested, right? But we shall see. Euro CAD's another interesting one. We might be getting a bit of a setup soon. Okay. If we get a bearish red candle somewhere in here like this, I'm going to start selling Euro Canadian dollar. Okay, so yeah, there you go, guys. That's everything I am looking at. I think that's everything I'm looking at. Yes, it is. Right, guys, let's take a look at everyone that's in the house. Emmy, how are you? Brett, it has to be a dark chocolate hobnob all day long, gentlemen. Yes, I do like a dark chocolate hobnob. And dark chocolate, you know, everyone says how good dark chocolate is for you. So when I hear that, I'm like, right, I can eat as much dark chocolate as I like. Don't think it works like that. It's the same with red wine. Like if I drink a red wine, I'm like, this is technically healthy, right? It's, you know, it's grape, but it also has some, it has something in it that's good for you as well. So, you know, when I drink red wine, I think, oh, this is healthy. Probably not, right? Daniel, how are you? Yes, Daniel concurs. Yeah, crappy unemployment figures for Aussie dollar. Indeed. I still, and Daniel also thinks Japanese weakness is still going to continue due to the political election. We shall see, right? Weekly Euro Aussie dollar is bullish. I would disagree with that, Daniel, because I just know, you know, again, this is not me saying, oh, look at me, I know all the charts. This is me showing you that you must analyze the charts every day so that you are fully aware of what's going on. And the Euro Aussie dollar weekly chart has the biggest bearish candle in the history of candles. So let's go to the weekly chart. Right? That is a beast. I agree, right? We're in an uptrend, but I am never buying into that candle, right? And if you look at that candle compared to the last, you know, 1, 2, 3, this is probably about as big, it's absolutely dwarfed these candles. There is a humongous amount of selling pressure here, right? And if you couple that with the day chart, which, as I've just explained, you know, broke this level through here and therefore become a downtrend. That big weekly candle, bearish candle, plus this daily breakdown, I did really like Euro Aussie dollar sells, but employment data was crap. HD, good afternoon, HD. How are you, mate? Cynical, how are you? How is Brooklyn? Gold analysis, please, for Lucky. Emmy wants to look at pound, Swiss franc, euro, US dollar. Okay, so let's start with gold, guys, right? Why have I got the Back to the Future button? Let's have a look at gold. Lucky, you love gold. You are like a magpie. Right, now. Okay, so let me draw this level in here. You do have this to contend with, right? Now, I like gold sells, but I don't think you've got far to move into, right? You can clearly see I had a bit of a spring clean of my charts, guys, so I got rid of loads of drawings, but I can just draw them back in, right? Okay, so here's a question for everyone, right? So please get involved, guys, because it's all part of learning and understanding structure and trend, basically. So everyone right now, please leave a question below. Not a question. Please leave your answer below. You can leave a question as well. But what is the trend of gold on the daily chart? So everyone right now, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee with biscuit in, unfortunately. But what do you think? What is the trend of the day chart on gold right now? Please leave your comment in the live chat. Right, so we've got uptrend ranging, we've got ranging, we've got uptrend, we've got downtrend, we've got bearish, so downtrend, and we've got downtrend, and we've got downtrend. So, you know, this is interesting, guys, and this is why I asked the question, Okay. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag, ranging uptrend, downtrend. And really, when I trade any asset, any Forex pair, commodity, anything, when I ask you the question, what's the trend? And you all go uptrend, easy, Tom, that's uptrend, or definitely downtrend. That's what I'm interested in, right? Because it's very obvious, it's very clear cut. Now, let's look at the facts of this chart, right? Now, I'm going to give you the textbook answer and the non-textbook answer. Don't know if that's a thing, right? But look, if we start over here, okay, this is crystal clear, right? Higher lows, higher highs, right? We're in an uptrend. And because we keep breaking these highs, this is confirmed as a low, right? And we break this high up here. So this is confirmed as a low. And then we break this low. So now at this point, not looking at any other action at the moment, we're in a downtrend, right? That is a fact. We are getting lower lows. We don't have a lower high, but we're in a downtrend because we've broken the last low, right? Now, obviously, when price comes back up to here, we're thinking, okay, this is the new lower high. And it proves to be. It comes all the way down here. Now it becomes a little bit unclear, right? Because this is a significant enough level. Because look at the movement we've had. And we know this is the last high, right? And this is where we're at. So textbookly speaking, which is a word, we're in a downtrend because this high has never been broken. So we're getting lower highs, lower lows. Fact, right? The high hasn't been broken, therefore trend hasn't been broken, right? And that is the textbook answer of trend, right? But obviously, I'm going to pay attention to this level. Why wouldn't you? Why would you blatantly ignore a level where price has reacted? Yeah, I'm not going to ignore that. So considering we are in a downtrend, right, and we're back at these highs, and we know this is the last piece of decent support, then I would say, yes, we can sell gold, right? But only back down to here, right? I wouldn't be swinging for the fences. I wouldn't be trying to come back down to hit these lows here or even further, right? This is an old target. All right, I would just be aiming for there. And then if price does this and bounces off that level, then the range is confirmed. But right now there is no range. It's not really confirmed. But if price did that, it would be confirmed. Okay, so I would sell gold. I think that's a reasonable trade. The problem we have, right, is just Trump again. God, I've just had enough of him. And I was thinking the other day, I was thinking back to, how long I've been trading, right? Which is, like 17 odd years. And I've never known anyone have this impact. No single human being have this impact on the charts, right? There's always something going on geopolitically, right? Whether it's a war, whether it's the 2008 crash, whether it's, COVID. Shh, don't say that word. There's always been things going on, but it's always been things. It hasn't been individuals, right? I can't remember anyone who has impacted the market as much as Donald Trump in the history of the market. I mean, you could probably say, Adolf Hitler, right? Because the stock market was around since the 30s, right? He probably had a bit of an impact. But do you know what I mean? Like in the modern era and the modern world of trading, it's crazy how much this man can change the markets and manipulate them in such a short space of time. And it's getting on my bloody nerves, right? But that aside, yeah, I think we've potentially got a gold trade, right? There's no point selling here. Right? I'm not going to sell into support. Right? If we break this level, okay, get a bit of a retrace, yeah, then come down. Okay, I think that's a trade. Or even if we make it back up to this level here, okay, and we see, you know, this would be sort of head and shoulders pattern. But even then, with a head and shoulders pattern, you need to break the neckline, right? So I'd still be waiting for a break of this level. Okay, so yes, gold I think is a sell trade, but yeah, I would be waiting for a break of these lows. And also, isn't it about time the big Oompa Loompa has something to say, right? So who knows? Trump will come out and gold could do that. It could do that. It could cease to exist. That's how bad he is. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's gold. I hope that helps. Boom, 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 boom. What else were we looking at, guys? Hi, Dank. Electrician, how are you? Good to have you back. I love the fact that you are an electrician and your name is Electrician. Christened Electrician. Name on his passport. Yeah, me too. He's a proper clown. Yeah, we've had enough of Trump. Right, we've got news in 3 minutes, guys. Hi, Jolma. How are you? How is everyone? So we've got news in 3 minutes. So in 3 minutes, what does everyone want to talk about? Anything going on in your lives that, you know, we should all be aware of? Anyone got a good joke before the news comes out? We're waiting for this news here, guys, right? We're waiting for this slew of news. But we're gonna play guess the news game. Anyone got a good joke? Any? We'll take a look at Euro Pound once this news comes out. No problemo. Have I told you this joke? I went to a Greek restaurant the other night. Crap food, but smashing plates. Don't know if I've said that one. Transfer window is getting interesting. Daniel, you are talking my language. This is a trading stroke football channel. As half the people tune out. Yeah, okay. So we'll look at pound Swiss franc and we'll look at euro pound. Yeah, we Liverpool have been strongly linked to Isaac or Isaac, whatever you call him. Yeah, if we get him, I'm going to be over the moon. You will see me do a little jig online to like on the live stream. I might do like a belly dance. Oh dear, that's for my OnlyFans page. Neil got a joke. Why does Superman hate trading Bitcoin after 7 p.m? Because it's crypto night. We like that one, Neil. That's what we need. We need trading jokes, not just any old joke. Neil, we like that one. I'm going to show your joke to everyone on the screen. Okay, sorry. I thought that was the start of a joke. What is the direction of pound US dollar, Tom? I thought that was a joke. Neil wins best joke contest. Anyone else? We still got 30 seconds before the news. Electrician, not drinking vodka anymore, Tom. Only in the mornings now. Yeah, by the afternoon, I'm more on, beer and no. I have a cup of coffee that I've dropped a biscuit in. It's quite distressing. Right, we've got 5 seconds before the news. Let's have a look at a US dollar pair. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. Okay, quite muted. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Quite muted, right? Very muted. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. Let's go on H1. That would help, actually. Not on, it's difficult to tell that impact on the H4. H1, okay, bit of US dollar strength coming in. A little bit. Okay, a little bit of US dollar strength coming in. Let's have a look at gold, because we were talking about gold. All right, so a bit of US dollar strength coming in, to the point we might see it. Okay, lots of US dollar strength coming in. This might also be flight to safety weakness. Let's have a look at yen. Yeah, so yen's weak, gold's weak. Whereas if you compare it, okay, yeah, pound is all, yeah, it's US dollar strength, but the flight to safety seem really impacted. Let's have a look at like a euro, Swiss franc or something, euro yen. Okay, so US dollar strength, I am going to guess, okay, that the news was a little bit better than expected overall. I know. I'm a genius. Good figures, really, guys. Look at them. They are all green. Green, 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 green. Okay, this one's Canadian dollar. This one is red. But that is pretty good figures across the board. And they are big jumps. That's 0.1% to 0.6%. And it was minus 0.9%. The people of America are just, you know, splashing the cash. So yeah, nothing but good figures there. So that's US dollar strength we potentially seeing. And what we might be seeing is a move up in the indices. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so a little bit bullish in the indices, right? That, you know, people spending money like retail sales is good for the economy, right? Goes without saying. So if we start seeing an uptick in the NASDAQ or the S&P, right, any indice really, we'll see how this finishes, right? Then generally, you know, the flight to safeties, yen, gold, right, will become weaker. So yeah, not a massive response, but definitely US dollar. Oh, we say that, look, it's now reacting at that low. But US dollar strength, definitely with the flight to safeties, less so with the other majors. Right, we had some questions back here. Yes, I agree. Isak is such an amazing player. He is. He's such an intelligent player. Adrian Kelly, yeah, we are in for Hugo Ekitike. Beautifully pronounced. Yeah, which is disappointing. Adrian, you really don't like Liverpool. Yeah, so we shall see. Right, we had some questions up here, guys. Sorry, you've tuned in to discuss trading, and I'm talking about Liverpool centre forwards. Right, let's have a look at Euro Pound. It's at a really nice support level. Right, so at the start of the week, my target, it was still a buy trade. My target was back up to this 0.8700. Right now, before I show you this analysis, guys, I have forgot to mention, please come and subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash that like button right now. Please do that. Otherwise, I will send somebody to your house. Also, guys, I don't know where I'm going with that. Also, guys, please don't forget to join our trading community, right? We've got the free Discord. You just need to click the QR code on the screen, and then you get access to all of our trading community, right? You can speak to like-minded traders, have a chit chat, whatever you like. Share knowledge, share ideas, talk about Liverpool centre forwards, whatever you like. And if you do that, guys, we're also going to give you 50% off the Simply Forex complete trading course, right? No brainer. Come join the community. Also, guys, if you want access to all of our premium trading education, including the course, also including my mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one, and the VIP Trading Academy. And also, we've newly added our in-house Price Action 101 indicator, which basically mirrors how I trade. So if you are interested in any of those things, then please go check out the website, www.simply-forex.com. It's above my head. go check it all out. Yeah, we've launched the indicator now, guys. Yeah, so we're really interested about that. So please come join the Discord. You can find out all about it, all on the website. It is a great trading tool, and it's like a strategy in an indicator. We're very proud of it. Right, Euro Pound. So we haven't quite hit this 0.8 700, right? But we are at resistance. There is, that's all resistance in there. And we're getting a bearish reaction thus far, right? And we've only got sort of the rest of today and tomorrow to trade, okay? Now, bearing that in mind, if we look at the H4, guys, right? If we look at the daily, we're still nicely in an uptrend, yeah? You can see here, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And we've even retraced into a nice area of value, right? If the moving average 20 catches up, somewhere in here could be a really nice level. So it's a tricky one. We know price is bouncing off that weekly level. Will this selling be sustained? Or will we start, if we get a big bullish candle, looks something like this, right? I would still buy Euro Pound and think it has enough room back up to this 0.8700 level. So we shall see. I mean, if you look at the H4, right, it's crap. It's crap because of Trump, right? He's come out and it had that effect. Now, it's just made it scruffy, right? I mean, it's become crappy, and we're here. If we start breaking that low, we're in a H4 downtrend. So that makes me makes buys less attractive. But like I say, if we get a big push down, we get a nice bullish daily candle, and we see something like this, a break of structure, then yeah, I would be interested in buying Euro Pound. Not interested in selling it at the moment, because if we go back to daily, we're firmly in a daily uptrend, right? Just depends on how much this wants to retrace, right? Does it want to retrace to here? Does it want to retrace down to here? Let the market tell you, right? Don't jump into anything. So yeah, and then pound Swiss franc, which is what Emmy wanted to look at, is basically is a very highly correlated trade to Euro Pound, but inversely correlated. So if I just go between, if you look at pound Swiss franc day chart, it's doing that, right? Now you imagine that flipped on its head, and then you will see Euro Pound, right? Look at it, it's almost identical, right? Euro Pound, look at that day chart, flip it upside down. It's pretty much identical, guys, right? Now, the thing with pound Swiss franc, there is a level through here, and we're at that level, right? We are clearly in a downtrend, and we've retraced back to this level, okay? So yeah, I mean, looking at the day chart, I would be very much interested in selling this back down to these lows, right? We still have a bit of room to move into. And I also know we have a very bearish weekly candle, right? Look at that. Yeah, not the candle forming now, right? That hasn't finished forming, but this is very bearish. So I would be interested in selling pound Swiss franc. Okay, if we go to the H4 now, the problem we have is H4, right? It's just pushing up. We're above the moving average 20, right? Again, like Euro Pound, I want to see a reaction here. Maybe it forms a double top or something. But I would just want a break of structure, a break of a low, right? Then we've got a nice trade. And, I get it, guys, right? You could be waiting days for a H4 structure break. So be it. Welcome to trading, right? You have to sit on these bad boys quite a bit, not my hands. You don't have to sit on my hands. You have to sit on your own hands, right? But you know, jokes aside, you do. So you could, I would be waiting a long time for this to set up. But if the daily still looks good, we get that H4 breakdown, I'll be all over it, right? So yeah, pound Swiss franc. There you go, Emmy. What else do we look at? So we got a couple of people wanting to look at US dollar pairs. So we got Dank wanting to look at pound, pound US dollar, and we've got Lucky wanting to look at euro US dollar. So let's look at these collectively, right? So let's start with euro US dollar, because if we go to the day chart, we are at, and this goes for a lot of US dollar pairs. Let me have a quick drink of tea, which is probably stone cold. The biscuit just touched my lip. I've had a terrible time there. But yeah, we're at really interesting levels. Pretty much all US dollar pairs are at interesting levels, right? This was once resistance. Could it become support? Maybe, right? Pound US dollar. We are at support, right? All of them, right? Aussie dollar, well, this might be a bit of an exception because this has been real weak, right? But it was at that level there, right? New Zealand dollar, US dollar, right? We are at this key support level here, right? So for all US dollar pairs, this is going to be a real, moment for the US dollar, right? We know the US dollar has been weak for some time. Is this just a pullback into a nice support level or resistance level, right? If you look at US dollar CAD, right, we are at, there's clearly a resistance level here. I'd even include those candles here, right? So whether we're at resistance or whether we're at support, right, is at a pivotal level for the US dollar, which is why the news today was important and why all the news is going to be important. Now, if it starts breaking these levels, right, like this, or on US dollar CAD, it starts breaking above this level, then I think we have more of a change in fortunes for the US dollar, right? Whereas if we just get a big bearish reaction at this level, I think it's business as usual for the US dollar and it remains weak, right? And it comes back down to these lows. So it real pivotal level for US dollar. What will it do at all of these support or resistance levels? If it breaks it, we could see some more prolonged US dollar strength. That's an actual structure change. But if we get a big bearish reaction at this level, I think it's business as usual and US dollar still weak. All right. So, yeah, I'm not going to jump in on that. I'm going to wait for the market to tell me. Right. And the fact we've got a weekly candle tomorrow, right? This will be interesting. What will the weekly candle look like at this level? Yeah. So, yeah, won't be jumping in on any US dollar pairs for that reason. Let the market make its mind up. Let that weekly candle finish as well, right? Because that's going to give us a bit of information. All right. And then next week we can, tune in for my weekly forecast at the weekend, guys, right? Where I tell you what I'm looking at for that week and we can sort of reassess it then. So there you go. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. This is the link. I'm putting the link up on the screen for the Discord, or you can use the QR code. We've got the website there as well, guys, where you can get access to all of our premium trading education. And we've got our new price action indicator 101, which is a proper weapon for trading, I must say, and weapon in a good way, because I think weapon can be derogatory. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Yeah, hope that helps. All right, and thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Remember, next week live streams, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, same time. Come join us for those. Also, please don't forget to check out the videos during the week. We've got the weekly forecast at the weekend, and we've got 1 or 2 videos during the week. So check them all out. Help support the channel. Thank you very much. See you soon.